Hello everyone. So I'm going to have to take this whole video again because my software messed up right at the end. So yeah, it's been a while since I've made a video, so I just want to first of all just do a bit of a catch up of kind of where we've been, what's been happening in the market since I've kind of been off in August really. So yeah, the first kind of thing was we've obviously been in, I would say, passively bullish ever since the kind of Trump stuff kind of was happening, kind of back here basically. So, well, more here for me, I think really just been passively kind of bullish ever since that point. So where this kind of chart starts is around this point in here. So yeah, we kind of get this initial, well, this obviously drop here and then nice follow through actually as well, because we get kind of there's an acknowledgement of revision to job numbers that actually massively drastic revisions. To be honest, I've not been trading that long, but it seemed like a pretty significant thing that I've not seen before. And kind of query those numbers in the future. And we also get weaker than expected payroll numbers as well that kind of come in. But just kind of going forward since that period of time though, straight off this kind of candle here, we can see is there any follow through? Is this the catalyst that will kick us down at some point? And the answer is no. Right? We gobble it straight back up and even eclipse the high of that candle. And we just kind of get straight back to it, form a new all-time high. Yes, we pull back, but it's a relatively healthy pullback, a good consolidation, and then once again we're off to the races. So all through this period of time, that's just what we see really. We see drops, but just no follow through from the bears. They're not really around, and that's okay because we are passively bullish. And yeah, so kind of coming up to this point here, what do we see? We see again, from my reading around it, it was kind of related to the China tariff threats. Again, kind of continuing, probably around the rare earth minerals, probably. And obviously the fears of government shutdown. But yeah, a little bit slow for the recovery off here, but we obviously found support at the SMA. But importantly, from bulls versus bears, again, no follow through on that kind of specific, that kind of drop. Just a bit of a solo on very heavy volume and not much of a follow through to drive us down. So we just float back up again. At this point here, we kind of see we're a bit extended at this point, really. And yeah, we get a bit of a pullback and back to the SMA. So a bit more of a severe pullback than what we've seen. But for the first time in a long time, I think we form a lower high, which is really interesting. And yeah, once we kind of look at these candles, yeah, so I said a kind of a pullback here is kind of inevitable. And, you know, this kind of float up here, massive gaps between that on the market, right? Huge gaps, not really on any significant volume. So yeah, pullback was inevitable. So we see some CPI data a bit hotter than expected, and the government shutdown continues. This is November. And yeah, this kind of blow off, absolutely massive bearish reversal here. A huge gap up, Nvidia post earnings, but a bit of a AI bubble, Nvidia post earnings kind of let some air out the bag sort of thing. And obviously some Fed actions they're doing as well, but mainly driven by this Nvidia post earnings and just a massive reversal, humongous reversal coming off there. So what's interesting is like going forward for the future, we've clearly got two big, well, yeah, support levels here really from these really big high volume candles going forward. So good to keep that in mind, I think, going forward. But again, not really any follow through and gobble that straight back. And within a week or and a bit or so, we're back to the all-time highs. And yeah, if we get back to the market, that's where we're up to. So market opens in 10 minutes. And yeah, it's more of the same, I suppose, really. We're just floating back higher. Um, I think just on the topic of, I suppose, pullbacks is kind of mention these in here. With the market kind of being overextended, it doesn't mean we're bearish. I think that's a really great point. And actually, what we want to see is we want to see pullbacks and healthy consolidation. So during these periods here, what I've been looking for, I think more and more, is like these pullbacks. This is the time to enter, right? This is not the time the market's falling off a cliff that people seem to think. And it's really hard to do that in trading, to be honest. But these are the opportunities we're looking for to buy back in, to get in at a good price, and to drive us in the right direction. So these pullbacks and a degree of consolidation, you can still have really good sector rotation and maintain that bullishness. That's what I kind of see as like healthy rotation. That's what I think is a good thing. So on that topic of like sector rotation, I suppose like what's going to push us above this all-time high? If we're bears, we want to see a big ass rejection off this, basically huge rejection off the all-time high, and on good volume, and to push us back down to these kind of levels here, and then maybe we dot around to there. But I just don't think we have the catalyst to drive us to that yet, really. So just maintain the passive bullishness continues, really. How we'll challenge this all-time high, and how we react to the Fed this week on Wednesday, I believe it is, or Thursday, Wednesday. Yeah, how we react to those will guide us kind of going forwards. I'm just passively bullish. So I've been in some JPM is the main position I've been in. But what I like about some of the sector rotation stuff that I mentioned is, if we look at XLV as a good example of, it got its sector rotation right a little while ago, back in like September. Really nice rally into XLV, which is the healthcare sector, which has been a bit of a dog of a sector for a little while, to be honest. And we know other sectors like, SMH has been doing pretty well overall, always doing pretty well, isn't it? QQQ similar, just obviously doing really well. So if we're looking at sector rotation, what we want to look for is maybe sectors that haven't been doing as well, but not are actually dogs of the dog, but are on that precipice potentially of maybe breaking out, and doing their own sort of rally. We can kind of see some nice rotation into industrials, for example. But since that time, we've been consolidating. So I'm really curious to see who's going to get their chance next. And if we rotate through the sectors, we can, I think, if I had to put a bet on it, I would kind of look towards XLF is what I kind of like. I think it's been a bit of its own little consolidation stage, which I kind of like. And I just think it has some potential here to break out if it can get out of this level at kind of 54. So I was setting some alerts there. But that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for healthy sector rotation. And so can we find that? Or if we drop, are we seeing all sectors drop together? Because that would be interestingly bearish. So that's what I'm kind of looking for. Themes overall is kind of still maintaining that kind of passive bullishness, not going big on size because I don't have much confidence in the market at the moment. But the sort of positions I'm looking for that I mentioned around the market that I took last week is stocks like JPM that I really liked. And it's stock like this that I'm looking for. So I like JPM because I'm like, again, trying to refine how I think of the strategy of what I'm trying to do at the moment. But I like stocks that show relative strength. So nice here in green. We start to see it push into relative strength territory. We see a nice kind of RVOL, relative volume coming in here. But it's just fantastic that underneath here, if we take this position around this point, we have a nice position or location that says like, I fucked up. The risk to reward here is good. I like that. I can be like, I can risk $3 a share to take myself down to here, or it's $2 a share. Yet my risk reward, is more up here. So I'm aiming for this level up here. So nearly there. Interestingly, been pushed down twice, but that's Friday's candle. So I've added to this up here. I've added on this breakout, which I like. So I'm aiming for that. So it's positions like this that I really like, that I'm I'm focusing on. So Pete from One Option, I think, highlighted a great pick in his video, and his YouTube channel is a million times better and fantastic info that I get in it. But it's positioned like this. I like, right, nice D1 first of all, really nice D1, and we've got. I'm sorry, just going to check something about HUT. And I just want to know what sector it's in. Oh, so it's actually in finances. So yeah, so it's in a sector that we're potentially seeing some rotation into, and it's a very good D1, really nice D1 chart. And yeah, we're seeing some potential rotation into this. Yes, it kind of rejected off here, this SMA, but if we can get above that and stay above that, again, a really nice risk to reward. We kind of get to this level here. We have a really nice point that says, I fucked up down here. Again, we would risk maybe $2, $1, $2. But what we're aiming for is more than a 3-to-1 ratio of risk to reward, basically. So that's got some potential, but it's stocks like this that I'm aiming for. And if we look at the Zen scan on this, what I like is, it does have a nice kind of options flow, a lot of bullish options flow into that. So what we'll keep an eye on is, what will happen this week to HUT. So I've got more to go through on my list to kind of filter through as the market opens in 2 minutes time, because I had to redo my video. But it's stocks like that I'm looking for. Hood is another one, again, financials. So I just see some potential here in breakouts for some of the financial ones to kind of follow in for that rotation. If we get it, we don't know if we'll get it. So HUT might be a good one. It's kind of consolidated a bit. It's not crashed back through the SMAs like we saw on some of those other ones. Last week I did enter on Google. I believe it was here on Wednesday, I believe. Yeah. So here on Wednesday, I did enter Tuesday, Wednesday, but basically I had a bit of a tight stop, unfortunately. So I went long on Tuesday, but it annoyingly just triggered my stop here. And again, always a valuable lesson to kind of acknowledge. To sometimes just have a bit of a tight stop, really. And I just had it above, very close to this kind of SMA down here. So it's just unfortunate. Sorry, SMA, EMA 8, because I didn't want to risk. I'm looking at the wrong one. I didn't want to risk too much, so it just triggered it below these points. So annoying, happens. I would still like Google, to be honest. But again, I wanted to optimize my risk to reward. But there's better options out there, to be fair. Google's not the best one in the world. But yeah, just got stopped like that. A very tiny loss. Honestly, it was $2, something like that. Not very much. But what I was aiming for, is to ride this up. So even from a 15-minute, it's still there, right? It's still very much within the game still. So if we look from Wednesday, it's doing all right. It's doing all right, to be honest. So a shame. So the market's just opened, but it's just got to learn the lessons from the trading. And that's the video I wanted to make, really, for the second time. So we're starting to see the alerts come in. Might just have a look to see what's happening. All right, so WELL was one that I was watching to kind of break through that level, but kind of gone a bit too far for me already. Could be a good sign, good time for a breakout, but not really what I'm looking for. MU, might as well go through the alerts, why don't we see what we've got. Welltower, MU, nice breakout. Was really looking for a not such an aggressive breakout on that one, but is what it is. Gold, I've got a long-term position in gold, so just keep an eye on that one. Reddit was another one that I I'm looking on the bloody 5-minute. Need to get back into that. What are we seeing? Oh, so Welltower's already been absolutely clobbered. MU is off to the races. Could be a good breakout. Reddit, one I was looking for to break out this level, has gone the wrong way. Glad I didn't go long. Like I say, it keeps changing their thing. See, you can tell I'm not used to TradingView. Not used it for a bit of time, so it keeps taking me back to that. So yeah, nice breakout from Reddit. Might as well just type this in myself. MU breakout, not as severe as it looks on the 5 minute. So that's actually pretty interesting. MU VKTX, what's happening there? Not much. WDC, nice breakout. Kind of missed what I wanted to do for that one, unfortunately. But again, can't catch them all. AVGO I did like, but I think it has earnings this Thursday. Yep, so I missed the move on that. Friday, I think, isn't it? Thursday. Yeah, I was hoping just to get some profit in that. That would have been nice, but never mind. And let's see how Google's doing, because we were just talking about Google. So it might be a nice time to re-enter, potentially, Google. I have to keep an eye on that one. IBM. Yeah, maybe. One that I've been riding for quite a while is UNH. Took profit in here. Yeah, so that's it. Long video. Apologies it's so long. See you all later. Hoping to get more of these out. Happy trading.